Welcome in to this edition of the NFL Daily Mailbag. I'm your host, Will Scott, answering your questions here about free agency, the draft, maybe some just generic rumors, but a lot to discuss here on today's show. And we begin with GM Evan Henders, who says, I think Arizona will trade DeAndre Hopkins and James Conner to Atlanta for a third, Cordarelle, Patterson, and a pick. Man, this would be really interesting. Very interesting trade idea. Atlanta could use a wide receiver, obviously. James Conner, maybe helping fill that Patterson void at running back. But you bring up trading Patterson. This is not something that I've heard a lot about, Evan. But at the same time, though, they feel really good about Tyler Algier. So maybe they use Patterson, some trade bait here to try to get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. But D-Hop to Atlanta would be phenomenal. And then have James Conner maybe be RB2 behind Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier was one of the best rookie running backs this past season. Landon Hale. Do the Falcons trade up for Will Anderson? It's going to be tough, man. I mean, the only way that happens is if the Bears trade out of that number one spot, right? And let's say the Colts take Bryce Young, the Texans take Stroud, the Cardinals take a guy like Jalen Carter, and then the Bears want to trade back again. That's the only way that happens. So you need Will Anderson to fall. You're going to have to give Chicago probably more assets at 4 if they trade at 4. So that's going to be really tough to trade up for Will Anderson. But if Atlanta does it, Falcons fans should be very happy. A couple of Falcons questions here to start this mailbag. Elijah Jones, what's up? Any relation to Chad? Best fit for Derek Carr? That's a really interesting question. Taking a look here at some potential Carr free agency destinations. And he's not going to get traded because he got cut last week. So he's taking some visits. He's already visited New Orleans and New York. Some other teams that might be featured here in terms of Carr destinations, I think the top 2 are pretty clear. And I think the Jets make a lot of sense. I understand that New Orleans is probably the favorite to land him right now. But New York was this close last year to making the playoffs. I mean, they were in it down the stretch. They had a winning record most of the season. But their problem was quarterback play. They never had consistent quarterback play. So if you replace Zach Wilson and Mike White with Derek Carr, that brings you up from a 7-win team to a 10-win team, in my opinion. So, and then you never know what could happen if you can make a little run in the playoffs. So I think the Jets make a lot of sense for Carr. I think the Jets have a better roster at this point than New Orleans. Where will Derek Carr sign? Go down in the comments section. Let me know, where will Derek Carr sign? I would still say New Orleans, but New York is also a team to watch. I want to tell you about this new feature called Super Thanks that YouTube has added, which allows you to donate to our channel outside of live shows. So obviously, super chatting is that feature during live shows. You can now do that outside of live shows. All you got to do is click the thanks icon below this video. And if you do that, we certainly appreciate your support. All our super chats, all our super thanks go to the Chat Sports Fund. And if you super thanks, you'll get a shout out on a future show. James Davis saying, do you see anybody signing Odell? Oh, yeah, for sure. Odell's going to get signed. I think he didn't want to sign because he wasn't fully healthy yet. He wouldn't have played. So he's now getting back to full health. Dallas is still a team to watch. They went after him in November. A lot of people thought he was going to sign with Dallas. Dallas is a team to watch there. Baltimore, if they keep Lamar Jackson, is a team to watch. A dark horse here, in my opinion, maybe Las Vegas. If Aaron Rodgers gets traded to Vegas and they want to build somewhat of a super team offensively, you can have Darren Waller, you can have Odell Beckham Jr., Devontae Adams. I mean, my goodness, that's going to be a heck of an offense. So, yeah, Odell's definitely going to get signed, James, but we'll see where. New Orleans was a team linked to him. I don't see that happening at this point. Alec G., who's most likely to be the Raiders' next quarterback between Jimmy G and Aaron Rodgers? That's a good question. It's definitely Aaron Rodgers. I think Jimmy G's their backup plan. I think Rodgers is going to have the choice between New York and Vegas, and I think because his old pal Devontae Adams is out there in Vegas, he'll choose Las Vegas. And I've said this once, I'll say it again. I think the destination is more important to the team. And here's what I mean by that. Aaron Rodgers has a ring. He's probably going to play another 2, maybe 3 seasons. I think he cares more about where he lives during the season than winning another ring, quite frankly. That's not a knock on Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the best to ever do it. But if he has an opportunity to go to Vegas and reunite with Devontae Adams and live in a place like Vegas, I think he'd be more interested in that than going to Manhattan at this point. Today's show is sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every single day. Get comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted better gut health and wanted a supplement that actually tastes great. I take AG1 every morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. You know, I came into this year really wanting to get healthier, and starting my year on AG1 has helped me do just that. I take it every morning. I feel happier, healthier, and more energized. Covering my nutritional basis for the day. Literally couldn't be any easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. I also like that it costs less than $3 a day. That's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. Win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Like I said, coming in this year, I wanted to improve my diet. I was drinking multiple sodas a day, and I'm like, no, I got to just start doing a little bit better with that. And so I'm thinking, okay, what actually tastes great? It's good for me. Athletic Greens, thank God that I discovered at AG1. So I take it every day. You can do the same. athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Dominic Schrader, what's up? I could see the Bucs trading back. All the positions they need will be gone, so why not trade back for an extra pick, maybe 32 or the Steelers? Yeah, I could see that as well, Dominic. I just think it's going to depend who's on the board, right? I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. I think it's a lot more realistic that they sign a free quarterback like Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, I mean, if they don't really love who's on the board when they pick, then, yeah, trading back is absolutely a possibility. And you get to add more picks. Trading back is never a bad thing, unless you desperately need a franchise quarterback, which Tampa Bay does. But, again, I don't think they're going to draft one. SM, do you think Jalen Ramsey gets traded? There's some rumors about that. I'm going to say no. I don't think it makes sense for LA to do. I don't think Jalen Ramsey's as good as he was, though. So if they want to get rid of that contract, which is a brutal one, then maybe you consider it. Tim Wallace, what's up? Will Zeke be back in Dallas next year? That's an interesting question. Matt Lombardo, thanks for putting this up, Producer Jack. Matt Lombardo actually tweeted this out earlier. Multiple league sources tell me the pay cut the Cowboys will ask Ezekiel Elliott to take will be, quote, massive, and there's no guarantee he takes the deal. So we'll see. I don't know if he's going to want to take a pay cut. Here's what he did this past season, though. 876 yards, just averaged 3.8 yards per carry. It's not very good. 12 touchdowns, just 92 receiving yards. So we'll see what they opt to do. I mean, Tony Pollard is a free agent, so they're probably not going to want to let both of those guys walk. I think drafting Bijan is pretty possible for Dallas. But if I had to guess, I would say he's not going to be back in Dallas next year. I think he's a cap casualty. Type Y for ES Inferno, what do you think? Will Ezekiel Elliott be back in Dallas next year? Go down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all are thinking there. Cameron, what's up? Who do you think will be the worst team in the 23-24 season? I think it's the Cardinals. Very interesting. I don't think Jonathan Gann is that good of a hire. The videos of him interacting with the players is kind of awkward, which, like, you know, it's not going to matter if he wins games, obviously, his personality. I wouldn't say Arizona. I still think they have some talent on that team. I mean, I could probably see them winning 6 or 7 games next year, not much more than that. Worst team in the league, I think Chicago's going to be better. I think Houston's going to be better. I think Denver's going to be better under Sean Payton. I think Seattle is going to be really good next year. I think they're going to dip. Honestly, maybe the Colts. It depends on who they get at quarterback. If they somehow do not draft a really good quarterback, they could be an absolute disaster next year. But I still think Shane Steichen is a good coach. I really do. So it's hard to say at this point, Cameron, but maybe some team in the AFC South. Gaming Wizard, Which head coaches are on the hot seat next year? That's a great question. I don't think Robert Saleh should be on the hot seat. I think he is because he hasn't made the playoffs in his first 2 seasons. I think his playoffs are bust next year for the Jets. I think who else? That's a really good question. I think when you look around the league, there might be a surprise firing that happens next year. Mike McCarthy's done a good job in Dallas. I mean, the job that he did last year after you had that situation happen where Dak Prescott missed multiple weeks and McCarthy kind of helped stay afloat. But yeah, the pressure's going to be on Mike McCarthy. He's going to be the offensive play caller next year. He's a guy that I don't think should be on the hot seat, but probably is. I mean, he's coming off 2 12-win seasons. He should definitely not be on the hot seat. I think Brandon Staley's very much on the hot seat. Stefanski's on the hot seat. I think Staley could be the first coach fired next year. If they start poorly, he could absolutely be fired. Stefanski, they got to do well next year. First full season with Deshaun Watson. He's very much on the hot seat. That's probably some AFC teams. NFC teams, maybe Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay. Todd Bowles has got to make the playoffs next year. He's in trouble. I think Todd Bowles was a massive disappointment this year. And then Dennis Allen, New Orleans. Dennis Allen's very much on the hot seat there as well. If you love our channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily NFL content, even the offseason. Not a whole lot of YouTube channels can say that, but we can. Matt Crawford, if the Panthers get a QB at 9, would that make them the favorites in the NFC South? It depends what the other teams in the division do at quarterback. I would not say that if the Saints got a guy like Derek Carr. I would not say that the Bucs somehow traded for Lamar Jackson. But if the other teams don't really do much at that position, then yeah, they can be. I think Frank Reich is a great hire. I think Ejiro Evero is a fantastic hire as the DC. So the staff that Reich has put together is really impressive, and I think Reich's a great coach. I think Indy made a big mistake letting him go. So if they somehow trade up for C.J. Stroud, let's say trade up to number 5 or number 4, then yes, I can absolutely see them being the favorites. Dennis Broderick, could Will Levis be the number 1 pick? Yeah, sounds crazy, but yeah, I don't think he should be the number 1 pick there. But there's a PFF mock draft here that has the Colts trading up to number 1, not to draft Bryce Young, not to draft C.J. Stroud, but to draft Will Levis, which would be crazy. I'm actually a little bit higher on Will Levis than most people are because I think he has the tools, but he should not be a top 10 pick, and he certainly shouldn't be the number 1 pick. Will the Colts draft Will Levis? A lot of people believe that Will Levis could be a good fit under Shane Steichen, a guy that has developed some really good quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts in his time. But no, the Colts should not do this. They might take him at 4 if they don't trade up, though. Porter Hobson, what's up? Is Aaron Rodgers retiring? He's on a darkness retreat right now, apparently. He's going to make a decision. He's got a couple different options. He could stay in Green Bay, not likely. Could get traded, very likely. Or could retire. I think he's going to get traded, and I think he's going to get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders.